Welcome back to Dove Twang. I'm Dave. I got you moved in right away here today, and we're going to go right into this 12 bar blues riff. And it's the reason I labeled it rhythm, and riff, not just soloing, is that, we're going to learn the riff here in a second, and it's repetitive, so we just got to learn it, move it around to the three different roots of the chords in the progression. Um, but also, I tried to, convey this a little bit in that demonstration is that we start off with the riff and then we kind of, branch it, take it into, more blues scale improvisational stuff, but returning to the riff as the continuous theme. And then also taking some of the spaces and kind of comping the chords a little bit in there. So you've got a rhythm guitar, bass, and drums on that backing track. You can almost imagine this as you're taking, all the guitars out of that backing track and you're just kind of playing, a real one guitar, one guitarist in the band type of role. And I tried it without the rhythm guitar, but then I put it back in because it just seemed to kind of carry the whole thing a little bit better. And I want you to have something you can really lean into. So, however you use the track, which will be included at the end following the lesson portion here, is great. Just use it to jam out on a minor pentatonic blues scale stuff. Learn the riff and just kind of see where it takes you. But for those of you that are really wanting to, some building blocks for blues improvisation, this riff will give you a routine that you can really practice and rehearse all the way through the progression and then start branching out from there, right? Which I think is a little more supportive than just kind of like do lick number one, do lick number two, and try to learn to solo that way. That's pretty, it's not impossible. But in my view, that's, you know, not giving you a whole lot of, foundational stuff to build on, right? It's just kind of all linear. So this is where you have something you can practice it until it becomes comfortable. Then you'll kind of naturally be able to be more musical in your improvisation after that. That's the idea anyway. So now on this backing track, oh, okay, so I'll tell you the chords real quick. It's A 12 bar blues. So we jumped in midstream there, but that's the E, the 5 chord. And here it is from the top. A or A7. D, D7, E, that's an E9. Now here's that riff and then I'll break it down for you. Just a couple times. Kind of like a bass line almost. Yeah? Okay. Now, there's a bass playing in the backing track, right, on the loop. But I left a little space where it does the... Each time I kind of went back and... Because my bass line was too much at first, right? I was like, okay, that's just distracting from the, and then I tried it without bass at all, and I thought, no, that's not as fun. So I actually kind of composed that bass line to leave you a space there where there's a little pocket right there. Don't worry about it, but that was just my process on this. So here's the lick. We'll start on our first chord is A. And I'm starting with my middle finger because I want to be able to go to the third. The note is C sharp for my next note. Okay. It's a little flat 7 dominant arpeggio for A, right? A, the root, C sharp the third, E the fifth, and G the flat 7. Okay, then I'm just going. Okay, and then just back to that, down to that fifth string E note, which is the fifth. And then just to, really block it out for you, I went down to the root again each time in that demonstration, okay? And you can leave some notes out and not double up on the root every time or whatever. But first, just learn it kind of straight up like that. And, as soon as you get comfortable with that, then start dancing around with it a little bit more. So when we go to that's for the A. Okay, so when we go to the D, we just move that thing up to where this is the root note of it. Okay, and likewise for the E. Now, I'm staying on the E in this 12 bar pattern, right? I don't do the 5 4 one at the end, just staying on the 5. So that, blues 12 bars can be split up different ways, right? So now that we've gone through that, take a look at this. Good. Now I got to wait for this to come around. Oh. Jumped the gun, didn't I? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm leaving space. Okay. Now, the only difference there was in the space, I did a little bit of, chord comping. It's not really a rhythm strum pattern, just kind of punching it in there, right? Okay. Now, that, can't really show you like exactly how to every nuance of that. The right hand, and I could, but it's, I'm reluctant to do it that way because the amount of frustration that might occur just trying to match all the little nuances would not be worth the effort that would pay off more if you just keep repeating this yourself until you get really comfortable with the riff, and things are going to start happening in that space naturally. So I don't want to just kind of leave you, out in the wilderness on that. But that was just an example. If you can just get to the chord, that's some folks will be, doing this very, very readily already. Others just playing that lick and then getting set up for the chord in that amount of time is the challenge for you, right? But it's a good challenge and an important one. You need to be able to switch out of your kind of single note playing and your chord comping in a natural flow. And that takes time, but this is a little piece of that skill set. The only other thing here, and then I'll get you to the practice loop, was just in that space and even just throughout the whole progression, you can use some just blues scale. Keep it simple, stay in your comfort zone or whatever at first, and then kind of at times bring it back to the riff and see if you can kind of keep it going so the logos, the theme of the song is still in there, but you're soloing in little bits and pieces and making different phrases and improvising, and then you have those three elements ultimately all working together: the riff, some single note blues scale improvisation, and a little rhythm comping. And that's really a pretty that's a you know you get to where you're doing those things together, you're on your way, man. That's a pretty complex set of things to be doing musically, but I'm trying to give you a map and a practice routine to really get there at any level, right? If everything I just said is kind of, you already understand it, you can already kind of, you know, do the riff right away and stuff, that's great. You got to challenge yourself to, make it more interesting, make your improvisation a little bit more reaching out in different directions and things and still holding down that theme. And then for others, it'll just be the appropriate task for you would be to just keep the lick going and do a little comping and maybe sneak in a little blues scale stuff. So here's another little example, and I'll get you to the practice loop. Take it easy. Talk to you next time. Let's see where we are.